If a Gentile wants to eat turkey on Thursday afternoon with his family watching football, by all means, enjoy it. It's the best of all the idolatrous holidays. At least there's no tree in the middle. But if a Jew wants to do it, if they've already done it once in their life, there's no permission whatsoever for them to do it according to anybody's opinion. We have, Baruch Hashem, our extraordinary series by the Chazon Ish, the Jewish ideology, and what better time is there to learn about what is the right Hashkafa, what is the right ideology, other than the week of the holidays of the Goyim, where you have now the holidays of the Goyim are rampant, lehavdi milyon avdalot, like we have our high holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Sukkot and Yom Kippur and the rest of the extraordinary and beautiful and holy holidays. Lehavdil milyon avdalot, a million times difference, they have their holidays where they have their avoda zara celebrated one after another, whether it be the Halloween, the holiday where everyone has to pretend that ghosts and demons are a good thing, or they have their massacre holiday that's coming up this week, that's called Thanksgiving. Ironically, the same holiday they massacred millions of people, they celebrate as Thanksgiving. Or they have their idols holiday in December that everybody's familiar with, which I don't even want to say the name. But the key is to understand that these holidays are very, very important for us to know. Why? Because you need to know what Chukot HaGoyim are. What are the laws of the Gentiles and what you're not allowed to do. So, of course, in Western society, and especially here in America, it's become I'm not really sure how and exactly who started this whole thing, but it's become a very common custom among Jewish households to celebrate Thanksgiving as if it is a neutral, non-religious holiday. Now, we've had several times that we've discussed this whole issue about Thanksgiving, not being a holiday that a person is supposed to celebrate. But of course, there's always people that either don't watch it or forget, or they think they're going to bring us some type of news source that they found under the blanket or they saw on the internet. Perhaps, maybe we'd reconsider. Well, Rav Avigdor Miller is quoted saying that the holiday of Thanksgiving is in fact a religious holiday, because even if you look it up in a dictionary, which in those days was still in books, today it's on the internet, you'd actually see that the Goyim themselves say that this particular day of Thanksgiving is a day you're supposed to go to church. So the roots of this holiday are indeed religious. But needless to say, even if you remove that for a moment, it's still forbidden for a Jew to celebrate this holiday like people do today. And what do I mean like people do today? Someone brought the leniency, if you want to call it a leniency, by Rav Moshe Feinstein, alav shalom, one of the giants among giants. Moshe ad Moshe lo haya ke Moshe. He was from Moshe Rabbeinu to Moshe the Rambam to Moshe Rav Moshe Feinstein. There was no one else like these giants. And Rav Moshe Feinstein, when he was asked about this Thanksgiving again in his day, he said, if you do it once in your life in a non-religious fashion, then this is something that can pass, meaning it's not a problem. But he never gave a heksher on Thanksgiving for anyone to celebrate it on an annual basis. That would actually turn it into a chok, what's called a chok, which is in essence a new decree, which is not only adding to the Torah, but it's also Chukot HaGoyim, which is a following the laws of the Goyim, of the Gentiles, which is forbidden for a Jew. So now if a Gentile wants to eat turkey on Thursday afternoon with his family watching football, by all means, enjoy it. It's the best of all the idolatrous holidays. At least there's no tree in the middle. But if a Jew wants to do it, if they've already done it once in their life, there's no permission whatsoever for them to do it according to anybody's opinion. Not Rav Moshe Feinstein or not anyone else. But again, people will always look for an excuse to justify their sins, and suddenly they become halachically meticulous, halachically fanatic. Suddenly they know the laws, or they think they do. And again, this has everything to do with our shiur. Why? Because when a person truly learns halacha and they learn the laws, the emotions are removed because now they know what's right and what's wrong and where they're supposed to go and where not. The same applies in every other aspect of halacha, whether it's the Thanksgiving nonsense that's in people's minds today, or it's wasting seed, or it's Shabbat, or it's nidah, or it's family purity, or it's a modesty, or any other law out there. A person needs to know that if you want to follow the way of Hashem, you have to remove your emotions. So long as you're emotional, you're not going to make the right decisions. Needless to say, you're going to be living a very sinful life. Now, that's what the Chazon Ish has chosen to speak about. Anyone actually still believe in coincidences when he watched Yishuim for so many years? This is exactly what the Chazon Ish is talking about this week, right now. In chapter 4, section 8, the Chazon Ish says exactly what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read it off so everyone knows. ואומנם ההרגל בדקדוק הדין נגד מידותיו הטבעיות ונגד נטיותיו בתולדתו, מרגילין אותו לשום את שבט מושלים בכף התבונה ואת הרסן ביד השכל ומגבירים בליבו ההכרה התמידית להיכנע לרגש הפנימי ולמצפון האציל ומכשרתו להיות איש הרוח ומרחירתו מן הגסות תכלית הריחוק. Up to here is the section we're going to read. This section is a little longer, but we're going to read this particular first paragraph. And last week, just to remind everybody, we talked about, in essence, the importance of observing halacha, importance of learning mussar, knowing that one cannot live without the other. They must coexist. If you learn halacha, but you don't learn mussar, then you're going to be a crazy person that's going to be meticulous in the wrong places. If you learn mussar, but you don't learn halacha, then you're just simply going to hate everybody because you're going to think that you're the most righteous person in the world, even though you're violating much more laws than they are. So it's important for a person to know that they have to work on their character traits by learning mussar, but the best way to work on the character traits is by learning halacha and fulfilling the halacha itself, and to be very specific about halacha itself. And now, in essence, what the Chazon Ish is doing is continuing to build on that foundation. And he says the following: when a man gets accustomed to being meticulous in the observance of halacha, in oppositions to his natural and inborn tendencies, this accustoms him to have his deep understanding rule and his intellect control him. It enhances his constant awareness of the importance of submitting to his inner sense and elevated conscience, and trains him to be a spiritual person, distancing him completely from coarseness. See, here the Chazon Ish is telling us a whole lot of things. We're going to break it up one line after another to truly understand the beauty of the words that the Chazon Ish is choosing here to try to teach us how to stop being animals. Now, the Chazon Ish is saying that when a person is accustoming themselves, person learns Torah, learns mitzvot, learns all the things that they need to do. She's learning the things that she needs to do. She's not going to use the excuse, oh, listen, women are not obligated to learn Torah, so, all I do is I just watch shiurim whenever I have time. That's not going to fly in Shamayim. Why? Because if you don't learn the basic laws that you are responsible for, such as the laws of Shabbat, the laws of modesty, the laws of the holidays, the laws of kashrut, all of these different laws that are pertaining to you, guess what? Your, things that you're doing may be nice, but you're not going to know what you're doing when the time counts. And when does the time count? When all hell fails, everything goes wrong. Shabbat, one of the kids turns off the light exactly where the dinner is supposed to be. What do? Hint, nothing. But if, let's say, for example, one of the kids turns on the hot water, what do? If one of the kids turns off or turns on one of the things, the stove, the oven, or something else, what do you do with these things? Naturally, you're going to say, I remove the danger, I increase the convenience, I'm having guests. This is the natural inclination of every person. But you have to know what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. And you cannot use your emotions when it comes to these very difficult decisions. And the reason why is because your emotions will lie to you. They will mislead you. And that's one of the tools that Satan will use most often.